Eit asks, what do you think will happen on DACA? You think anything will happen by November? Well, it's like mind reading. Probably DACA, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, if they cancel DACA, we might have more protests, so that's one thing. They may just push things down the road. But this is about politics, and politics, you never know what's going to happen. And it's like people who are thinking Hillary's going to get elected and Trump did. So it's like, what difference does it make what I think about it? It's just, hope for the best and try to find alternatives. I was thinking to myself the other day when I was taking a shower, actually, I'm like, how would I feel if I came as a young child? The DACA is deferred action for childhood arrivals. These are people who came to the United States as children with their parents and were staying here, and now they're stuck because they don't have status, but they grew up here. They pretty much only speak English. How are they going to go back to their home country? They're really, at this point, culturally Americans, if not real Americans. And so I'm like, what would I have done in that situation? And I'm like, you know what, if I live in a country in the US where some people want to hate me and want to kick me out, I'd have a backup plan. So I'm Iranian background. I would have learned to speak Farsi if I was forced to return to that country. So I'm fluent in it, so I'm prepared. And now think about what kind of businesses exist that I could do in the US, learn a skill, so if I go back home, I could do it. I hate to say this means be prepared to go back home, but have that option. Why limit yourself to live in a country where you're not welcome? I love DACA people. I hope they are able to get a path towards citizenship. That's my personal belief. But as a practical kind of thing, DACA people should just have backup. You live in a country where some people hate you, just like people hate me, and I get hate mail too sometimes. It is what it is. Have backup prepared. For Iran, it's harder because it's from a country that's pretty crazy, and the U.S. has sanctions. It's really hard to do business there, so I could probably apply for asylum or something like that if I was forced to go back. But if you're from Mexico, for example, or you're from South America, which is a lot of these cases, if you're grown here, you don't speak Spanish, there's a lot of DACA kids who grew up here only speak English. Learn how to speak Spanish properly, just to be prepared if you got to go back. Learn what kind of businesses needs are in Mexico City, where a lot of the money is. Learn things that if you go to Mexico is transferable. For example, if I'm an immigration attorney in the U.S., and if I go to any country in the world, I could always still be an immigration attorney because people want to come to the U.S. I'll just have an office in that country and help people out. So you got to just think creatively. This is outside immigration. This is just personal kind of stuff. Think, how could I be prepared? And same thing with COVID-19. Get a job that doesn't get affected by COVID-19. So right now, the reason I start doing video a lot is because I'm like, well, I could be at home, which is where I'm at right now, do videos, people call me up, I get the case, and I can continue making a living despite the fact that large swaths of the economy are shut down. And this was intentional. When I decided what fields I'm going to go in, I wanted something where I don't have to appear in court all day, and it doesn't require me to be somewhere. I was all planning this kind of stuff out, so you really have to do that to plan out the future. And then once you have one thing that's working well, think about alternatives, how to do it. So not only do I help consumers like yourself, people who need legal lawyers for help, I also help other lawyers. So I have a secondary business, which is educating other immigration lawyers about how to be an immigration attorney and how to run a law firm. And then I'm going above that. I'm teaching all lawyers how to do online marketing, like the stuff I'm doing right here, right now, to have you here. So there's a lot of things you could do to say, that's why don't leave your hands, like your life, in the hands of a politician. Is DACA going to happen? Is Supreme Court going to happen? I say forget those people. Do what you got to do to be dominant in your world. Don't rely on someone else making a decision, signing some bill, or giving you a piece of the pie. What is DACA? Every 2 years you have to pay a bunch of money to renew a work permit. Forget that. Do what you can to have a business that's international. Work your way up. Not everyone's going to do this. Most people won't, but do it. Learn the languages. Learn the business that are international to support yourself and your future and your family, so you don't have to rely on some politicians making a decision on what's going to happen in your future. So if you're a DACA student in your early 20s, mid-20s, and you're looking this, you're worried, think about how could you save yourself from this situation. Consult a lawyer too. Sometimes I had DACA people who could have got a green card a long time ago. They didn't realize it. So there's options as well like that. But if you ask what my thoughts are about DACA, that's my thoughts. Worry about yourself, take care about yourself, and don't put your hands into some person in Washington, D.C. to make a decision about your future. Take the reins of your life in your own hands and take it to the next level.